Hello, Sister Tangela here, and welcome to another evening of our Wednesday night youth Bible lesson. Tonight, I want to talk to you about waiting. When I was about your age, my sister and I had to wait all the time. You see, we were the youngest of five children, so we definitely had our share of waiting. Oh, when it was time to eat, we had to wait before we get to fix our plates because the oldest ones got to fix theirs first. We only had one TV, so we had to wait till Saturday morning before we get to watch our favorite cartoon shows. Mhm. So, what are some things that you have to wait for? Oh, I bet I know. What about when you go to Walmart or Target and you see that toy you want, that PlayStation 5, that iPhone 12? You want those things, but what are you often told? Wait until your birthday or wait until Christmas. And what about when you want to go to a water park? You have to wait until summertime. Even in school, you have to wait in the lunch line. hmm So we hear that word quite often, don't we? Wait, 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 wait. But I want to talk to you about a different kind of wait. I want to talk to you when God says wait, and how Moses had to wait into desert for 40 years before God called him to do a very important mission. Our reading today is going to come from Acts chapter 7, verses 30 through 34. So go ahead and grab your Bible. I'll wait. I will be reading from the New Message Version of the Bible. 40 years later, in the wilderness of Mount Sinai, an angel appeared to him in the guise of flames of a burning bush. Moses, not believing his eyes, went up to take a closer look. He heard God's voice. I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Frightened nearly out of his skin, Moses shut his eyes and turned away. God said, Kneel and pray. You are in a holy place, on holy ground. I've seen the agony of my people in Egypt. I've heard their groans. I've come to help them. So get yourself ready. I'm sending you back to Egypt. So let's dig deeper in these verses. I want to first focus on the first three words in verse 30, 40 years later. My first point I want to emphasize from that is that God is busy in the wait. Mhm. Now, Moses was a shepherd in the desert for 40 years. He went from being the prince of Egypt to herding sheep. During those 40 years out in the wilderness, I'm pretty sure Moses had a lot of questions. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of doubts about his life, just like we all would. But here's what's encouraging. And while he may have felt like he was doing nothing with his life, God was busy. God was busy preparing Moses both physically and mentally, working on the outside and the inside. Now remember, he had been in the desert for 40 years. God was preparing Moses to know what life was like in the desert. He was preparing Moses about finding water, shelter, wildlife, plant life, you name it. Moses knew it. God was preparing Moses for his plan that he had for him for the next 40 years of his life. Boy, that's good. Yes. He was also preparing Moses mentally as he was helping Moses to become that sort of person that could walk up to Pharaoh, the most powerful man known at that time, and say, Let my people go. Boy, oh boy. He was preparing Moses to become the kind of person who can deal with the impatience of a newly liberated group. Now, when someone's been set free, a lot of people's going to have a lot of questions. They're going to be impatient, coming at you once, all at once. He was preparing Moses to be someone who knew what it was like to depend on the work of God. And Moses didn't even know it. He was becoming somebody in the desert, and he thought he was just herding sheep. So it's good to understand that when God delays, He's working. He's getting us just right. I know when it feels like you're waiting and nothing spectacular is happening. Just know that God is preparing you. He's giving you lessons to learn, situations to overcome, and attitudes to adjust. Mhm. The second point I want to make is to pay attention to the sign. Now, Moses had a divine appearance from God in a burning bush. So just imagine what Moses was thinking. A burning bush. That got his attention. And what do we do when something gets our attention? We want to get a closer look. Mhm. God uses the most unexplainable ways to get our attention so that we can recognize His presence. And the challenge for us is to recognize our own burning bush moment when a sign appears. But in the meantime, practice paying attention because our burning bush is our assurance that God is always with us. The third point I want to remind you is that God always has a plan. Now remember how He was working on Moses during those 40 years in the desert? His plan for Moses was ultimately to go back to Egypt to save those people from bondage. So when God commissioned Moses to go back to Egypt, the same place that he ran away from, Moses felt like he wasn't the right person for the mission, but God equipped him with everything that he needed. So when God commissions us, He already has a plan in mind. He already has that puzzle completed. We just have to trust Him. So the next time you're feeling like nothing is happening and you're getting impatient, trust that God is busy in the wait. It's so easy for us to lose hope while we're waiting. So I want to share this poem with you that I have to read from time to time. The poem is called Wait by Russell Kefler. Desperately, helplessly, longingly I cried. Quietly, patiently, lovingly he replied. I pleaded and I wept for a clue to my fate, and the master so gently said, Child, you must wait. Wait? You say wait? My indignant reply. Lord, I need answers. I need to know why. Is your hand shortened, or have you not heard? By faith I have asked, and I'm claiming your word. My future and all to which I can relate hangs in the balance, and you tell me wait? I'm needing a yes or a go ahead sign, or even a no to which I can resign. And Lord, you have promised that if we believe, we need but to ask and we shall receive. And Lord, I've been asking, and this is my cry. I'm weary of asking, I need a reply. Then quietly, softly, I learned of my fate. As my master replied once again, you must wait. So I slumped in my chair, defeated and taught, and grumbled to God. So I'm waiting for what? He seemed then to kneel, and his eyes met with mine, and he tenderly said, I could give you a sign. I could shake the heavens, darken the sun, raise the dead, cause the mountains to run. All you see I could give and pleased you would be. You would have what you want, but you wouldn't know me. You not know the depth of my love for each saint. You not know the power that I give to the faint. You not learn to see through clouds of despair. You not learn to trust just by knowing I'm there. You not know the joy of resting in me when darkness and silence was all you could see. You would never experience the fullness of love as the peace of my spirit descends like a dove. You would know that I give and I save for a start, but you not know the depth and the beat of my heart, the glow of my comfort late in the night, the faith that I give when you walk without sight, the depth that's beyond getting just what you ask from an infinite God who makes what you have last. And you never would know, should your pain quickly flee, what it means that my grace is sufficient for thee. Yes, your dreams for that loved one overnight could come true, but the loss if you lost what I'm doing in you. So be silent, my child, and in time you will see the greatest of the gifts is to get to know me. And though oft may my answers seem terribly late, my most precious answer of all is still wait.